everybody, welcome back to another F250 project video. This one we're just going to talk about a couple modifications that kind of help out the truck. I recommend putting these on if you don't go so big as to where you need like a whole new system. Like go to too big of injectors where you're now putting too much fuel out, so now you need a bigger turbo to get more air because you got too much fuel, or because you got such big injectors now, like you went to 250cc injectors, so now you need a high pressure oil pump because it can't keep up. I'll show you kind of what I got on here, but so these mods I kind of like to call tidying up the truck. So this is what a lot of people like to call a boost fooler. So I have 180cc over 30 injectors in here. And I have upgraded turbine and compressor wheel and the stock turbo. They're billet, and this thing easily makes mid-30s. It helps out the initialization of your spool as well, so it reduces the lag. So I ordered this boost fooler from Riff Raff. It goes right in to the front there of your plenum and sends back a signal to my boost. You can see the boost gauge wire going up. And basically what it does is it puts your truck into derate mode when it senses over, supposed to be 22 pounds of boost, I believe is like the cutoff. My truck with the tuning, I was getting 26 and it was cutting it off. I don't know why all of a sudden it was going more, because normally it doesn't build that high. Yeah, I put this boost fooler on and my truck makes mid-30s now of boost, and it's super easy install. About $100 for this. Your sensor will mount on the side. You have your one end going in and the other end swapping out, kind of meeting up with the other end. It goes into the sensor, so that will that's basically how it fools your boost sensor right there. Yeah, so this made my truck very consistent, very strong pulls all the time. Now, as you can see, I got a fuel regulator installed. There's the one end, and it goes up into your fuel bowl. I ran the medium rate spring, that's what they highly recommend, and then the other end goes up and goes into the back. You can just barely see it over there. If you can see it. But it goes up in the back right there. I will say, getting those in on the block on each side on the fuel rail, that was a pain in the ass. Trying to get those lined up and getting them to take is almost impossible. Now, when you order from Riff Raff, they have this socket that you can purchase separately. Get it. It is a short stubby socket, a special size, and it's made just for this. If you do not get that socket, it will be a hell of a time getting these plugs off. But if you look, it almost kind of looks like it's on an odd angle, and I thought it was not taking straight, but that thing's in there, I don't know, probably in there 10 threads, 8 or 10 threads each of them, and they both went in the same distance. So I even measured them because I was not comfortable with how it looked like they were going in crooked. And I was like, man, I thought I thought I cross-threaded these, you know, and it's just so hard to tell because you get it to take with your fingers, and because you're so limited with hand space that you like, well, I probably can't get enough force with my hands, so you start using a wrench, and you think, oh crap, maybe I cross-threaded it. Well, I asked a couple guys, and I saw their installation of their fuel regulator that they put on, and theirs are at the exact same angle. They look like they're crooked, but they're not. I even took it out and put the bolt back in, and when the bolt starts screwing in, it does go in on what looks to be an angle, but when it seats, it mounts flush. So it just has to deal with, in proportion, you looking at it compared to the items that are sitting on the block that makes it look like it's going in on an angle. It is not, just so you guys know. But yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to disconnect this line from the fuel bowl. Now when I disconnected mine, the rubber was gone. It was non-existent. I don't know how I wasn't leaking. I was surprised. So yeah, I took that out, pulled it out. It is tight. They don't have a lot of wiggle room, so you're going to have to kind of, you know, push back, try to get something in there to kind of hold it back. And you're going to put the spring in on this side, and there's a rubber seal on that side as well. And then it comes with 2 new seals that you put up in there to tighten over that. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to leave these loose so you can swivel them, move them around. Once you get that in there and you start getting these on and get them in the right angle, once you get these seated on both ends, then you get them in a good position, then you can tighten these down. You snug everything up, and that's pretty much all that one takes. I also got the coolant filter. Helps keeps particulates and, you know, contaminants out. Really like this thing. When I bought the truck, it actually already had this on there, so I did not install this, but I absolutely love this thing. It's very nice. On off, you know, so if you got to change the filter and the truck's hot or whatnot, yeah, you can do that. I change it about every 30,000 miles. This is so a lot of people do this mod, and in all honesty, you get some, you know, straight piping. These up there is completely smooth, and then this smooth, this smooth. The only part that has an uneven surface that's rough is this corner boot. You kind of cut the ends off here, and you just reuse this part, use a straight pipe, and, you know, for a matter of like 30 bucks, you got yourself your own custom cold air intake, and it nets like the same benefits really. And then this you get from Napa. It's cheaper than a K&N or any of those air filters. This is like, I don't know, I feel like these change in price all the time. I cannot see my clamps over the number, but you can look it up online, and they talk about this filter. It's pretty common. They're like 20 to 30 bucks. Buy that, and I mean, it's a cheap, easy mod, good to do. That is pretty much it of, you know, some mods that I did that kind of helped make the thing run a little nicer. Now, the main reason, so I also have another mod that I did, but you can't quite see it. It's kind of running behind the turbo. It's a boost regulator. It's a pipe that crosses from the left side of the bank to the right side of the bank. It's like an HPX. Those are pretty cheap on Riff Raff. But the reason for the fuel regulator is so the way they feed the fuel in is it goes in on one side, and it goes up the one bank and cuts across and comes back the other side. So by the time it gets to the last cylinder, there's a little less pressure, and that's why you get more of like a fuel knock on that one. It's a little loud. That's kind of why, you know, some people who aren't used to diesels or 7.3s in that sense, the 7.3s seem to have kind of like a natural kind of a louder tick or knock, what people like to call, just how they are. But this will actually quiet that, because what it's doing is it's starting to feed fuel in on two opposite ends of the, rail. And that will actually allow equal pressure throughout all injectors. So that kind of helps alleviate that. It helps throttle response as well. The turbo wheels upgraded as well. That right there, that makes a big difference. I would call these trucks kind of like a slow Betty. She's slow Betty, but now she's more like a rejuvenated stallion, fresh off a 3 binge energy drink. Yeah, no, the thing's lively. I can get all 4 tires to spin in 4-wheel drive now, needless to say. But yeah, she's not slow by any means now. She climbs up to 100 real quick, and if this is something you guys would want to do, pretty much my goal is to have this as my daily driver. Have it fun while not losing towing capability or drivability, and keeping reliability. Now, you start throwing a lot of power at these, they highly recommend you doing like ARP head studs and a girdle for the bottom end. That's if you have the 2000s or older, because they got forged internals. If you have the newer one, then they recommend you pretty much upgrading your internals to forged and doing the ARP head studs and girdle. And that's if you decide to start pushing out, over 500 horsepower. That's when they start recommending these. If you're under 500 horsepower, these things they hold up very well with hardly any issues whatsoever. The engines are, tanks, and especially you want to go with the high quality parts. You want to do it, and you want to do it good. You want to do it right, and the thing will hold up. I mean, you really won't be sacrificing reliability at all, and your mileage is actually going to go up with these mods. Maybe not the boost one. Yeah, a build like this with 180 cc injectors, upgraded turbine. I have a Hydra tuner with an Extreme Street. All these other mods, you're creeping up on the 400 horsepower range, and your torque's getting up there. And yeah, your torque's probably creeping up around 900 to 1,000 with starting to run these mods. But yeah, that is it for my little mod list, and I'll get back to you with another video. You guys take care, and you have a good day.